Hi friends, and welcome to the video for Aries. This is also about the node shift. I will do another video about the node shift. But what we have here going on is Cancer season, and it's June 23rd. So we are well into Cancer season now. Where have we got the moon? The moon is in Virgo. And the moon, we have very strong earth sign energy, Virgo to Taurus, trined, moon to the north node. The north node is a point on the moon's orbit, or I believe it's the orbit, but it's a nodal point. It's a mathematical point on the moon's orbit that is known as a node. And the north node of the moon is known as your passion, but it can also be your extreme passion, which could lead to things that are negative, but if it's not channeled correctly. So if you're very passionate about art and you spend all of your money on your paints and your stuff and you can't afford to pay rent and then you end up homeless and you can't do your art anymore, that would be sort of an exaggerated sort of north node point. Now in Vedic, they call it the Rahu point of a dragon, because they say that the moon's points are a dragon that's been cut in half, where the face of the dragon is very ferocious, very passionate, very aggressive, and that would be the north node. And the tail of the dragon is sort of like the things you've already done in a past life, or the things that you've mastered already. Now, if you've mastered the art of, say, knitting or something, you've mastered it already, and you mastered it in a past life, like it comes very, very easily to you, I would think typically that's because you mastered this in a past life. Now, you can fall back on the south node, wherever it falls in your birth chart, but typically it won't be where you'll have your great success, your great ambition, your great money. You know, it'll be sort of like a plan B, but you can sit on the plan B, but if you're ignoring your passion, your other area of your life could start to dwindle, and then you're sort of like just existing but not really thriving. So if you want to thrive, typically look up where your north node is in your birth chart. You can use astro charts like what I use. Look up where the north node falls, and that will be your passion, because it has something to do with the moon, the internal world, what drives you, what motivates you, and so you can't ignore your north node. Now, as a collective, for all people, we're going to have the north node move into Aries. So it's an 18-year up, 18-year down. Now, there's no real up and down. It's actually just flowing right along. So So the last north node Aries was south node Libra, because the south node will always be the polar opposite. So right now we've had Taurus north node with Scorpio south node. And so, you know, when there's a south node, a lot of people are naturally doing things, just very natural. The north node in Taurus has been very much about money and also about being fake. I mean, Taurus is about what you see is what you get, but it's not deep like Scorpio. So on the surface, people are very passionate about looking good, feeling good, having nice things, nice cars, putting their best foot out there. But the south node would be doing a deep dive into the soul. Does this really satisfy your soul? But with the south node Scorpio, people are naturally falling back on investigation, looking below the surface of things. People are naturally prone to sort of look deeply into things, and it could be not a good thing because it's a south node. So it could be that, people are naturally investigating when it's really not needed, because it's not a north node, it's not a passion, it's what people have already mastered and what they're doing naturally to their detriment. Not really to their detriment, but it's not going to make you excel. Now, right now, we have the sun in Cancer. The sun is aligning with the moon as well. So we have here a water to earth energy, and then we have the sun to pretty much the north node is in Aries right here. Let's see. When will the north node be in Aries? Can't really see. Well, the north node is like these little Mickey Mouse ears, the upside down Mickey Mouse ears. It's the curve with the two circles, and Chiron here is in Aries, the asteroid, going through Aries for 8 years. I think we're out the halfway point. So if you've already been through a lot with Chiron, get ready for the north node. The north node energy will give you a lot of personal power. It's going to enhance your energy, especially being in the first house of the self. Ambition, aggression, brave. There's a lot of good that can come out of the north node in a fire sign. The north node in an earth sign has been really, kind of grounded, but maybe a little static. And then we're going to have the south node in Libra, which is so what you are used to or what you've mastered in a past life is justice. You're used to things being fair. You're used to things being in this balanced energy. And it also has to do with what people perceive as fair in the public eye. Justice, So with the south node in Libra, it is peace and it is harmony, but to what are we losing? Because the south node is, if you think of the dragons cut in half and it's the tail of the dragon, think of sort of like, just sort of think of that image in your mind. Like it's about mastering something that won't make you excel. So it's like, so what it could be is you're bored with something, or it could be that it's no longer satisfying, but you're doing it anyway. So South Node in Libra, when everything is fair and balanced, peaceful, but at what cost? So what is the cost of peace now and equality and things being fair, appearing to be fair, the appearance of balance and peace and fairness, but at what cost? Because it is the South Node energy. So the South Node energy is not exactly going to help. So it's better to be brave, to be ambitious, to be firm, and be, put your best foot forward. A lot of people probably are going to be marketing themselves. You may see a lot of personal marketing of the self. So it's really exciting when this North Node is going into Aries. And like I said, it's an 18-year shift, or it's not a shift. It kind of is a shift, but it's an 18-year cycle. So the last time we had the North Node in Aries, South Node Libra, was 18 years ago. And then if you want to get extra about this, the North Node, South Node cycles can be very galactic because it is our moon. And, how does this shift into a different zodiac constellation? How does this affect the galactic energy? So, does this affect the way we've seen possibly extraterrestrials, UFOs? Because people are going to be tired of Libra, fair, balanced, peaceful, to to the detriment. So people want to know the truth. So there could be a lot of people who are being brave and coming out, because North Node's energy, the nodal points, are, you know, these mathematical positions. They're not actually, like, the North Node will show that it's always in retrograde. It's not actually in retrograde. The mathematical point is sort of going backwards in the zodiac. So it was in Taurus, now it's in Aries, then it'll be in Pisces. So with Aries, fire sign element, the moon is the emotions that are very passionate because it's moon energy. And it's very aggressive but ambitious. And it will be, you know, to overcome fear. People are sick of just maybe accepting something in order to keep the peace. Like, you want, you know, justice, but at what cost? You don't want to have to sort of like sacrifice. There's something about the Aries persona that's going to play in. So galactic energy, you could see a lot of people being brave and coming forward with things that they normally wouldn't have before. Could be a lot of whistleblowers. I know there have been a lot of whistleblowers, but I think the whistleblowers we've had, it's been in a South Node energy. And it hasn't been very, it's been about sort of like breaking the chain of what's fake. Because if something's presented as fake, we've had this natural tendency to go look below the surface of Scorpio, but it's not helping. So this energy, though, of Aries North Node will be to sort of break the chain of just being compliant or obedient. It doesn't mean there's going to be like war and brimstone. It just means that people are going to be able to stand up for themselves. You may see a lot of people standing their ground, standing up for themselves. It's pretty exciting. It's a big shift, and it's happening right here in Cancer season as we move into the summer solstice. So if you think about Aries and you think about the head of a dragon, and you know Aries is ruled by Mars, what do you think about? Passion, aggression, ambition, personal, you know, motivation, sales and marketing. People want to be standing their ground, standing up for what they believe in. Now, it can also be the war of the pen. Mars is the pen. The pen is mightier than the sword. Signing documents, signing contracts. You know, anything that would be very forward for the person. Signing something, agreeing to something. You know, maybe getting an attorney that you'd sign a contract, something like that. There's a lot of energy going on right here. So what do we have right now? Let's see. Okay, so we're on the 23rd. Sun in Cancer, Mercury in Gemini, at home in Gemini. So Mercury is going to be enhanced and supported when it is in its own sign of Gemini. So people talking, people communicating, a lot of discussion, should go well. It's not a retrograde. So, you know, should be a very positive energy. Mercury is fast as well. Could be short-term local trips as well, going like away for the weekend. Mercury rules over local communication, or, you know, not that far. It's not Sagittarius. It is the opposite of Sagittarius. So it's about sort of close to home energy, or not too far away energy. Communication with friends, family, siblings. Gemini is also duality. So being split down the middle about a situation, having a hard time making up your mind. So communication is good here. It is connected to Chiron in Aries, healing the self, healing who you are. So Chiron is an asteroid that's been going through Aries for 4 years, and it has to do with exposure and bringing up your wounds so that you can then move forward and heal. When you come out on the other side of Chiron, you're like a totally different person. You're very strong. It's an 8-year cycle that most likely you'd go through one time in your lifetime. So we have like another 4 years or 3 years to go with Chiron. So you're at a halfway point, and you may notice, like, where was I 4 years ago? And you notice how much stronger you are now as an Aries. Okay. So Neptune in Pisces, Saturn is retrograde right now. The karma is connecting in opposition to your feeling satisfied to serve and help others. So Saturn retrograde in Pisces connected to what? The North Node. So Saturn retrograde is the energy of karma, going through things again, discipline. If there's anything you didn't finish, it will come up and require you to finish it. Or you're going to feel very passionate because it's connected to the North Node to finish it to help your income. So if you never took that real estate exam and you studied for it, but you never took it. If you never took the bar exam, like me, I never took it. I signed up 3 times, but during COVID, it was canceled 3 times. So I was like, this is really weird. Like, why is it being canceled? So here I am now, and I'm like, I actually felt like I want to take it. But if there's anything you didn't finish that you did put some work into, that you're going to feel actually motivated to finish, which is the Saturn retrograde. Saturn wants discipline, order. To me, I always imagine a drill sergeant. It's someone who wants you to be your best, but it's putting you through the drills, wants you to be your best, but it wants you to finish. It wants you to be accomplished so that you can be your best self. Now, some people think, it could be past life karma. I don't really go that far with it. Past life karma to me would be more south node of the moon. It's something you already finished. It's something you already did. You don't need to focus your energy on it anymore because it's going to be static. You're not going to get very far with it. You're going to just sort of have a glass ceiling with your south node. So if you look up your south node, for me, my south node is Gemini. Gemini is about communication. I used to be an IT project manager of telecom, which is telecommunication. So because that was my south node, I found it very easy. I found it very easy to talk to people. I found it very easy to finish the projects. I would whiz through everything. However, there was a glass ceiling with it for me. It was only going to really get me so far. And then I would have to do something else bigger because my North Node is in Sagittarius, which is bigger, far-reaching, learning, education. It's far and wide. So it's the arrow of, the centaur with the arrow, pulling the arrow back and then letting the arrow go. So it's a very focused, far-reaching energy of Sagittarius, and that was my North Node. I wasn't focusing on my North Node. So there's always going to be a limitation with your South Node, but you will feel comfortable. You'll have just enough to get by with your South Node. If you focus on your North Node, that's where you're going to have more than enough. You're going to not be tired at the end of the day. With your South Node, you're going to feel tired at the end of the day because you've already done this probably hundreds of times in a past life, or you've already mastered it in this life. You were born to do this. Now, that sounds great, but you're also not learning, you're not challenging yourself, and you don't have the passion. It all is about passion. So it's important to focus on your North Node because your South Node, if you want to get deep, a lot of people say the South Node is what your parents wanted you to do. If your parents wanted me to be a mathematician, that would be Gemini. Wanted me to be an IT person. They say, and I'm not exactly sure how it happens, They say there's something about the parental role that wants you to be safe and secure in your South Node. They want you to feel protected in this energy, but you won't go very far. And I even think there could be something where you won't exceed your parents in your South Node. Like, I would make $65,000 a year, and I would have a nice apartment and maybe a nice car, but I wouldn't really have very much. Like, I couldn't travel. I can't go far distances. I can't buy really nice things. It's kind of a limitation. So it could even be a soul contract that you have with your parents. Like, this is my South Node. This is where I'm going to be comfortable, and I'll be safe and protected, and I'll always have this to fall back on. And your parents are like, that's good, because you can pay your bills and you can pay your rent, and that's safe, do that. But the North Node, if you can somehow incorporate your North Node into your daily life, like sign up to, say for it was me, so my North Node, I do YouTube, but another North Node could be if I signed up to teach at a community college. I'm reaching more people. That's still kind of Gemini though, because it's local. Doing more social media could be more North Node. North Node Sagittarius. Philosophy. Belief systems that are wacky. Not traditional belief systems. Unique and different belief systems. Galactics. UFOs. Aliens. Angels. Anything that falls under something unique and different would be Sagittarius. So look up your North Node, look up your South Node, see where you're comfortable, how is it limiting you, how are you not satisfied but you're comfortable, and incorporate more of your North Node. Because once you incorporate more of your North Node, you're going to be ready for this North Node in Aries. And it's an 18-year cycle, and you better be ready for this. If you want to get really crazy, it is a Pleiadian energy, because the Pleiades is Taurus. The Pleiades is where it's shifting into the first house of taking action. So it's a very Pleiadian energy. It's very high vibrational, and you can't be filled with fear. The South Node, sorry, I left this out. South Node is fear. A little. It's always sort of ruled by fear. Now, fear of Libra would be, I'm afraid to really speak my mind, but you don't want to go crazy. I mean, you don't want to you have to do it within means. I mean, South Node in Libra, fear of breaking the peace. So doing something to keep the peace, but it's at a detriment, and you're afraid to stand your ground. Now, I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not saying people should protest or do anything like that. None of that. This is more about, say you were always afraid to go onto YouTube, and you're doing things behind the scenes. Now, because you thought it was more peaceful for yourself. With this energy here, you're going to be feeling the passion to put yourself in front of the camera. So this is the North Node, South Node shift. I hope you guys find it exciting as I do, and get ready for it. Know your nodes, know what's going on, know your personality, and also know your past life energy as well as your galactic energy. So thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in the next video.